Do you ever plant a stunning perennial, admire it briefly, and then wish the show lasted longer? If you want a garden that stays colorful for months, this video is for you. After growing and observing hundreds of perennials in beds, borders, and containers, I've discovered which ones truly deliver. Plants that provide dependable, long-lasting blooms from late spring into fall with the right care. In this video, I'll share 10 of the best long-blooming perennials. These varieties keep the color going through repeat flowering, extended bloom cycles, or continuous flushes when deadheaded or lightly trimmed. For each plant, I'll explain why it blooms so long, how to care for it, top companion plants, common pitfalls, and standout cultivars. No fluff, just practical tips to keep your garden vibrant for months. 1. Rudbeckia. Rudbeckias, commonly known as black-eyed Susans, are some of the most reliable long-blooming perennials you can plant. They bring warm, golden color to the garden at a time when many plants begin to slow down, filling borders with bright, daisy-like flowers that seem to glow in full sun. Blooming usually starts in midsummer and, with minimal attention, continues right up until the first frost, making them true workhorses in the perennial garden. One of the reasons Rudbeckias perform so well is their resilience. They thrive in full sun, tolerate heat and drought, and adapt easily to average garden soil. In fact, they perform best in well-drained soil that isn't overly rich. Excessive fertilizer often leads to lush foliage at the expense of flowers. Once established, they require very little maintenance. To extend the bloom period even further, simply deadhead spent flowers regularly. Removing faded blooms signals the plant to produce new buds instead of setting seed, often adding weeks of additional flowering. Rudbeckias come in a wide range of forms and sizes, making them useful in many garden situations. Taller types such as Rudbeckia fulgata or Rudbeckia hirta can reach 2 to 4 feet tall, providing height and structure in late summer borders. Compact selections like Little Gold Star are perfect for smaller gardens, edging, or container plantings. Their bold yellow or golden orange petals surrounding a dark central cone create a striking contrast that pairs beautifully with asters, sedums, coneflowers, ornamental grasses, and Russian sage. These combinations add movement, texture, and long-lasting visual interest as the season progresses. Rudbeckias also offer significant benefits for wildlife. Their open flowers are rich in nectar and attract bees and butterflies throughout summer. Later in the year, if seed heads are left in place, finches and other birds will visit to feed, adding life and movement to the garden. The dark seed heads themselves provide attractive winter interest, standing tall through frost and snow. In terms of problems, Rudbeckias are largely carefree. Occasional issues like powdery mildew or leaf spot can appear in humid conditions, but good spacing and airflow usually keep plants healthy. Their sturdy stems rarely flop, even during heavy summer rain, and staking is almost never required. For gardeners looking for dependable, long-lasting color, Rudbeckias are hard to beat. They deliver weeks of golden blooms, handle tough conditions with ease, support pollinators and birds, and anchor the garden from summer into fall. More than just a pretty flower, they form the foundation of a vibrant, long-season perennial display. 2. Echinacea. Echinacea, commonly known as coneflower, earns its reputation as one of the longest flowering perennials available to home gardeners. Native to North America, it begins blooming in early summer and often continues uninterrupted until the first hard frost. Unlike perennials that deliver a single flush and fade, Echinacea produces new flower buds continuously, so fresh blooms appear while older flowers are still standing strong. Even after the petals drop, the prominent cone-shaped seed heads remain visually striking and become an important food source for birds such as goldfinches in autumn. Traditional Echinacea varieties feature soft pink or purple petals surrounding a vivid orange central cone, but modern breeding has dramatically expanded the color range. Today's cultivars include creamy whites, sunny yellows, warm oranges, and even fully double flowers. Regardless of color, Echinacea's upright growth, sturdy stems, and bold daisy form add structure and presence to garden beds. For best performance, plant them in full sun and well-drained soil. They prefer lean conditions and are highly drought-tolerant once established. Excess fertilizer or poorly drained soil can cause weak, floppy growth or lead to crown rot, so minimal intervention produces the best results. A light feeding in spring, occasional deadheading, and division every few years are usually all the care they require. From a design perspective, echinacea is incredibly versatile. It looks most natural when planted in groups or drifts, where it weaves seamlessly among plants like Nepeta, Salvia, Rudbeckia, phlox, and ornamental grasses. It fits beautifully into cottage gardens, prairie-inspired landscapes, and even more contemporary borders, where its seed heads provide bold texture through winter. Pest and disease issues are uncommon. While minor leaf spotting or beetle damage may occur, well-spaced, healthy plants tend to remain trouble-free. With months of colorful blooms, strong support for pollinators in summer, food for birds in fall, and architectural interest in winter, echinacea offers year-round value. It's tough, reliable, and endlessly satisfying. A true cornerstone plant for any perennial garden. 3. Coreopsis. Coreopsis is a dependable performer when it comes to long-lasting garden color. Many varieties begin blooming in late spring and, with simple deadheading, continue producing flowers steadily throughout summer and into early fall. What makes Coreopsis so effective is its fast-growing, free-flowering nature. It sets buds quickly and keeps them coming, making it perfect for gardeners who want extended color with minimal effort. These plants thrive in full sun and well-drained soil. Too much shade reduces flowering, while overly rich soil often encourages leafy growth at the expense of blooms. Regularly removing spent flowers significantly extends the blooming period, and giving plants a mid-season trim, cutting them back by about a third, often triggers a fresh, vigorous wave of flowering. Coreopsis varieties range widely in size and form. Compact, low-growing types are excellent for containers in the front of borders, while taller selections provide height and fill in mid-border spaces. In the garden, Coreopsis pairs beautifully with ornamental grasses, Salvia, and Rudbeckia, adding bright, cheerful tones that keep borders energetic for weeks on end. They're generally easygoing plants with few serious pest issues, though powdery mildew can develop during humid summers if air circulation is poor. For gardeners seeking reliable, low-maintenance plants that deliver continuous summer color, Coreopsis is an outstanding choice. With just occasional deadheading and trimming, it rewards you with months of lively, sunlit blooms. 4. Nepeta. Nepeta is one of the most reliable perennials for nonstop color and pollinator activity across a long growing season. In many gardens, it begins flowering in late spring and, when cut back after the initial bloom, continues producing fresh waves of fragrant flower spikes well into fall. The secret to Nepeta's longevity is its airy, arching growth habit and its abundance of short-lived flowers. A quick shear once the first heavy flush fades refreshes the foliage and stimulates a new round of buds almost immediately. Nepeta performs best in full sun and lean, well-drained soil. Unlike perennials that demand rich feeding, Nepeta actually blooms better when it isn't over-fertilized, staying compact and full of flowers rather than becoming floppy. Cultivars such as Walker's Low have earned their popularity by combining extended bloom time with a neat, manageable shape. In the garden, Nepeta is an exceptional companion plant. Its soft gray-green foliage gently offsets more structural plants like roses, lavender, and echinacea, while its long flowering season provides a continuous nectar source for bees and butterflies from early summer until frost. Pest issues are rare, though consistently wet winter soil can weaken the crown. Dividing plants every few years helps rejuvenate growth and maintain vigor. For containers, choose compact varieties and lightly deadhead to keep flowers coming. Overall, Nepeta offers months of delicate color and fragrance in exchange for minimal effort, making it one of the easiest long-blooming perennials you can grow. 5. Salvia. Perennial salvias are true workhorses when it comes to extended flowering. Many varieties burst into bloom in late spring and continue sending up flower spikes throughout summer and into autumn, especially when spent blooms are trimmed back. Their long-lasting display comes from a combination of steady spike production and impressive heat tolerance. Salvias often rebound quickly with fresh blooms after watering and a light feeding. They thrive in full sun and well-drained soil. Heavy, wet ground is their main weakness and can lead to poor performance or crown rot. Cutting plants back after the first major bloom almost always results in a strong second flush, often extending flowering right up to frost. Well-known varieties such as May Night and newer compact cultivars are valued for their long bloom period and tidy growth habit. Salvias are among the best plants for attracting pollinators. Bees, hummingbirds, and butterflies visit them repeatedly, making them ideal for wildlife-friendly gardens that stay active all season long. They pair beautifully with Nepeta, Echinacea, and ornamental grasses, creating layered, textured borders that hold interest for months. Occasional issues include slugs or snails during damp springs, but overall they're easy to manage. Prune old growth in late winter to keep plants healthy. For gardeners looking for consistent vertical color over a long season, salvias are hard to beat. 6. Agastache. Agastache, commonly known as giant hyssop or hummingbird mint, is celebrated for its tall, colorful flower spikes and exceptional appeal to pollinators. Many varieties bloom from early summer straight through fall thanks to continuous bud development along each spike and a natural tolerance for heat and dry conditions that allows flowering to continue when other plants slow down. Plant agastache in full sun with excellent drainage. It strongly dislikes winter moisture and performs best in lean soil, where energy is directed into flowering rather than excessive leafy growth. Deadheading or trimming back flower spikes after the first flush helps extend the blooming season, and some gardeners cut plants back mid-season to trigger a fresh surge of growth. The aromatic foliage releases a pleasant scent when brushed, and once established, agastache is both drought-tolerant and deer-resistant. Available cultivars range from blues and purples to warm oranges and peaches, allowing it to fit a wide range of color schemes. Agastache shines in pollinator gardens, cottage-style borders, and Mediterranean-inspired plantings, especially when combined with lavender, salvia, and ornamental grasses. Problems are uncommon as long as drainage is good. Root rot is the main concern in soggy soil. With its long bloom season and outstanding wildlife value, agastache is an excellent choice for gardeners who want color and movement for months on end. 7. Gaura. Gaura is the definition of lightness and continuous bloom. From late spring all the way into fall, it sends up slender, flexible stems, covered in small, butterfly-like flowers that seem to float and dance in the breeze. This constant movement gives the garden a lively, effortless feel, as if it's always in bloom. Gaura's extended season comes from its ability to produce new buds non-stop and its tolerance for heat and mild drought, allowing it to keep flowering when many perennials slow down. Gaura performs best in full sun and well-drained soil. In overly rich or heavily fertilized ground, plants may grow too lush, flop outward, and produce fewer flowers. Leaner soil and occasional trimming help keep it upright and blooming freely. Cutting the plant back by about 1/3 in mid-season often sparks a fresh surge of growth and flowers. Removing old stems in early spring prepares it for another long, productive season. This plant is a perfect fit for naturalistic borders, prairie-style gardens, and modern plantings where movement and softness are desired. Compact varieties also work well in containers. Gaura combines beautifully with salvia, nepeta, echinacea, and ornamental grasses, where its fine texture balances heavier flower forms. It's generally low maintenance, though poor drainage can lead to root rot, and in colder climates it benefits from a hard cutback in late winter. With its graceful form and months-long bloom, Gaura brings elegance without effort. 8. Sedums, especially the upright, late-blooming types, are essential for carrying color into the final chapters of the growing season. Their flower buds begin forming in late summer, gradually swelling into broad clusters that deepen in color as autumn progresses. These blooms remain attractive for weeks, often lasting through frost and even into winter, making sedum one of the most reliable plants for long-lasting seasonal interest. Sedums thrive in full sun and prefer dry to moderately moist, well-drained soil. They excel in lean conditions where many other plants struggle, and once established, they are highly drought-tolerant. Care requirements are minimal. Divide plants occasionally to maintain vigor, deadhead spent flowers if you prefer a tidy appearance, or leave the dried flower heads intact to add winter structure and provide food for birds. The thick, succulent foliage adds strong texture and contrast to perennial borders, complementing finer-leaved plants. Sedums are excellent anchors in late-season designs, pairing well with rudbeckia, asters, and ornamental grasses. Pest and disease issues are rare, though young shoots can sometimes attract slugs or snails in damp spring weather. For gardeners looking to extend color from late summer into fall, and even beyond as flower heads age and change tone, sedum is truly indispensable. 9. Verbena bonariensis. Verbena bonariensis is a standout perennial for gardeners who want height, lightness, and months of uninterrupted bloom. From early summer until the first hard frosts, this plant sends up tall, slender stems topped with clusters of soft purple or lavender flowers that seem to float above the garden. The effect is airy and elegant, adding vertical interest without heaviness or bulk. What makes verbena such a long-season performer is its constant production of new flowering stems. As older blooms fade, fresh ones take their place, keeping the plant in near-continuous flower for most of the growing season. Butterflies and other pollinators are irresistibly drawn to it, making it a key plant for wildlife-friendly gardens. Verbena bonariensis thrives in full sun and prefers well-drained soil. It handles heat and humidity better than many perennials and rarely requires intensive care. Deadheading is optional. Trimming spent clusters can encourage additional flowering, but even without it, the plant continues to bloom thanks to its open, branching habit. In garden design, verbena is exceptionally versatile. It weaves effortlessly through lower perennials, ornamental grasses, and bold architectural plants, adding height without blocking light or views. It works beautifully in mid to back border positions, where its long flowering period ensures consistent color and movement. In colder climates, Verbena bonariensis may behave as a short-lived perennial or benefit from light winter protection, while in milder regions it can reseed gently and return year after year. Occasional powdery mildew may appear in very humid conditions, but good spacing and airflow usually prevent issues. For gardeners seeking tall, season-long color that pollinators adore, Verbena bonariensis is hard to beat. 10. Hemerocallis. Daylilies are famous for their individual blooms lasting just a single day, but that reputation doesn't tell the full story. The true strength of Hemerocallis lies in its ability to produce wave after wave of flowers over an extended period. With the right varieties and care, daylilies can deliver continuous color from late spring through summer and well into fall. Each plant sends up multiple flowering stalks, and each stalk carries numerous buds that open in succession. Modern reblooming cultivars, such as the popular Stella de Oro and other improved hybrids, are especially valuable for long-lasting displays, making them ideal for both garden beds and containers. Daylilies perform best in full sun, where they produce the highest number of blooms, but they also tolerate partial shade. They prefer fertile, well-drained soil and benefit from regular division every 3 to 5 years, which keeps clumps vigorous and flower production high. Removing spent flower stalks and old foliage encourages fresh growth, while a light mid-season feeding or compost mulch can significantly extend the blooming period. One of the biggest advantages of daylilies is their resilience. Once established, they tolerate heat, drought, and a wide range of soil conditions, continuing to bloom even when more delicate perennials begin to struggle. They pair beautifully with plants like salvia, coreopsis, echinacea, and ornamental grasses, providing a dependable backdrop of color. Problems are minimal, though spider mites can appear in very dry conditions, and poor drainage may lead to crown rot. With proper placement, daylilies remain one of the most reliable, low-maintenance perennials available. For gardeners who want weeks and often months of color with very little effort, daylilies remain an unbeatable classic.